What's going on, FG fam? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Miami Marlins franchise here on MLB the Show 21. It is time to dive into the full off season. Let's get into it. Time for the Marlins offseason, and first things first, we got to take care of this coaching staff. Don Mattingly's okay for manager right now. He's got 3 years left. We're not going to do anything with him. If he can't get it done this year, maybe next year we get rid of him. Eric Duncan, I don't quite like him, but he's only got a year left. But that man, that first base coach, and Trey Hillman at the third base coach spot, I can't live with those dudes. We got to get rid of them. Dave McMahon, we just won't re-sign next year as our farm director. We'll see what we can do, just signing 3 new coaches this year. Lee Elder is our first choice here for pitching coach. We'll try to bring him in 3 years, $4.5 million. Then we are looking for a first base coach, and I always look for guys that have all pluses, even if they're not exactly in things that we need, because I'd rather have that than lose some attribute points where we could really use them. So Kaneko is somebody we'll look at for first base coach. Then as we look for third base coach, we got to dig even further down the list here. Micah Seidenquist is a guy we are looking at there. So looks like we could get him pretty cheap. We're going to pay him more than anyone else probably would, and we'll try to bring him in. We still have a very nice available budget of $123 million, but we might have to spend some of that on Roberto Osuna. Now, I know there were some people that wanted me to potentially get rid of Roberto Osuna or just not sign him back, but I don't know that there will be a better option for our closing pitcher at the moment than Roberto Osuna, and he could be trade bait later down the line, so I'll offer him a deal for now. Shane Greene is another guy. He pitched very well for us last season to a 2.83 ERA. That is a guy I'd like to bring back. Jeff Samardzija, I'll take a look, but I'm not really all that interested. And David Robertson did not pitch very well for us at all, but for a super cheap deal at around $1.2 million for a year, maybe $900K a piece for 2 years, it might be worth bringing him in, and, you know, maybe he could be trade bait down the line as well. So we're only using $9.5 million of our budget with those guys. Lee Elder does accept our pitching coach offer. Kaneko does accept our third base coach offer, or first base coach offer, and Micah Seidenquist does accept our third base coach offer. Now we're going to take a look at some new prospects that were added from your comments in the past. Juan Ramada to the Oakland A's, Giancarlo Garcia to the Washington Nationals. Now, these guys aren't going to be the best rated players, but they're going to have a chance somewhere. As you see, Abel Alvarado has some pretty darn good hitting against left-handed pitching. And then finally, Walty Snowman, who has very good hits per 9, and he's pretty good with velocity and break as well. So we'll see if any of those guys end up doing anything in the future as well, as they have been placed in my database. So we will do check-ins on them every single draft just to see how the players are doing. Noah Syndergaard is in free agency, and he's somebody I have great interest in bringing in at only 28 years old. He's a 90 overall. He could definitely be the ace of our staff and help out our young pitchers, so we'll try to bring him in. Sean Doolittle is another guy. I feel like he could definitely be one of the more reliable guys coming out of our bullpen next year if we could get him to sign up. We do have some money to spend here, as our owner has given us here $110 million as the available budget. We want to ramp it up. We want to make this team competitive, and Michael Conforto could definitely do that. An 86 overall, the guy can hit. I mean, he's not much of a defender, but man, can he hit the ball. And we need some guys who can put the ball over the fence. New stadium, though, this year. Well, not a new stadium, but the stadium's been renovated. You'll want to take a look at the end of the video. Starling Marte is another guy we're going to put an offer on. And then Javi Baez is actually being... As much as I don't like him because he's a Cub, he's very much being vastly underrated in this free agency. As you can see, the Cubs trying to get him for $11.1 million a year, and we'll get him for less than that because he feels slighted by the Cubs, which is kind of weird. We have Sixto Sanchez, who could potentially be coming back. All of these guys on contract renewable. We're just going to renew all these guys for very, very cheap money because we can just renew them later on for way less. I've made videos on this. I may link one in the end screen if you need to check it out. I'm also making a video on budgets, so you'll want to keep a look out for that video because I've had a lot of questions on it. Arbitration we're going through. We're going to offer all these starting pitchers arbitration because at very least they could be trade bait, but I think they're all solid starters for us. Dylan Floro is a guy we definitely want back, and I think he's earned $1.2 million for a season for sure. He's probably earned more than that, but I'm hoping that arbitration will say, hey, you're giving him enough money here, and we're going to leave you alone. Mike Morin is not a guy I'm going to offer arbitration to. Jorge Alfaro, we will, but I don't know that I want to give him too much more than $2 million. We'll give him 2.2. Mejia is a guy we'll give $650K to. He's just a backup catcher at the moment. I'm hoping he can blossom into more. Jesus Aguilar was making $4 million. We don't want to pay him that. And Garrett Cooper was making 1.9. I don't really even want to pay him that. I don't think these guys have put up the numbers to deserve it. John Birdie, I think he's a little bit better than $570,000. And Peraza, we'll see. We'll give him that offer and see if that works out for us. Orlando Arce, I'm going to try to pay him $100K less than he got paid last year. And Adam Duvall, I'm hoping we can use him as trade bait because I don't want to pay him no $5 million. I don't even want to pay him $4.2 million, but we'll see. Michael Conforto is no longer interested, so we got to check that out. Lewin Diaz was not interested in his really long renewable contract offer that I put on the board, so we're going to have to go ahead and revisit that as well. We also reached our max roster size, so we're going to have to do that again as well. Brad Hand has been signed by the Minnesota Twins. Very good closing pitcher. Syndergaard, though, does become a Miami Marlin, so I'm very, very happy to bring him into the squad. He was 15-8 last year with a 3.42 ERA, over 200 innings logged, and we're hoping he can do something similar for us. So we got to go through and re-put all these offers back on everybody I just offered. Sean Doolittle is obviously one of those. We're going to continue the offer to Javi Baez. He still has not been ramped up in interest in him, so I would love to bring him in. The Padres now want him, and I don't really want to let the Padres get him, so we're probably going to end up giving him more than this later on, but for $10 million a year, you can't go wrong bringing Javi Baez in, because look, we are bringing in Conforto for around $9 million a year, which I'm super content in doing also. Starling Marte, we're going to try to bring him back. I mean, we already traded him at the deadline, but why not bring him in again and see if we could, I don't know, maybe do the same thing. We might be able to trade him again at the deadline. There's Chris Bryant. He will sign with the Milwaukee Brewers, so he is staying in division in the Central. Roberto Perez going to the Nationals, and Mike Morin gets claimed off waivers by Pittsburgh. Good, you keep him. Joe Dunand gets claimed off waivers from us too, and so does Frank Milton. These are all guys that I cut off of my team because they were just not good. Michael Conforto does become a Miami Marlin, so I'm happy to have him on the squad, but the real big fish is Javi Baez, who has yet to sign. Corey Kluber becomes a Met. He won 19 games last year, so we'll see what kind of Met he becomes. Kirby Yates is now a Washington National as they make some big signings, and there we go. It finally gets down to it. Javi Baez, a big deal. You saw it on the thumbnail. You knew he was a Marlin, and there he is, the biggest fish that we could have gotten. We got some other good guys, though, so I'm excited as to where the team is headed. And as you can see on the screen, other teams are not done. Josh Donaldson going to the Blue Jays for Bo Bichette straight up. Interesting trade for the Twins. Twins might be pretty happy with that one. Zach, you may be happy with that trade. We go to the Rule 5 draft now, and a lot of guys getting selected. I believe one of them was off of our squad, but I am not going to be mad that he is gone. We'll take a deeper look here once this draft sims on through, and we'll take a deeper look at what's out there. Tanner Tully goes as the first pick in the Rule 5 to the Pirates, then Malik Smith to the Orioles. Logan Davidson's on there as well, Pete Crow Armstrong, but it is Rocky Strickland, who was a Marlin, and now he will be a Cincinnati Red. I'm not exactly mad about it. I mean, he's 27 years old and a 68. I'm not all that mad. If they can do something with him, that's all the better for them. Carlos Correa will become an Oriole, so they have a star shortstop on the team. Pablo Lopez wins his arbitration for $1.6 million, as does Dylan Floro. He wins his for $1.6 million as well. So a couple of guys getting money from us, and Mejia wins his arbitration for $1.2 million. Alcantara wins his for $1.3 million. These are all guys that were making in the hundreds of $1,000s last year. Now they side with Garrett Cooper as well. He will make $2 million. We were trying to pay him less than that. It did not quite work out. Jose Peraza getting $890K, and Eliezer Hernandez will make $2 million. Jesus Aguilar sided with us. Let's go. We're only have to pay him $3.7 million, and Alfaro wins his arbitration for $2.9. John Birdie wins his, but he's only making about $950,000. Orlando Arcia wins his. He'll be making $2.8 million. So some of these prices getting high. Adam Duvall wins his arbitration. There's no way we're paying $5 million, so it is time to ship him off. I also don't really want to pay Arcia, and if we can bring in Eloy freaking Jimenez for those guys, it is 100% happening. So welcome Eloy Jimenez to the team. Since he's here, we don't need David Peralta, so we're going to ship him off for 3 prospects that could potentially be something. Louis Brinson, I remember a time when he was supposed to be a great Marlin. It never happened, so we'll take 2 Yankee prospects for him and someone else. Connor Scott is a very good center field prospect. Eloy Morales actually played really well in AAA last year, and Chris Chinea means absolutely nothing to us. But we are going to get Garrett Crochet for that, and that is definitely going to help our bullpen. We did not get a lot of the bullpen arms we were after in free agency, so we are out here looking for arms in the bullpen. Randy Dobnak is a guy we can get for Cooper, Gilberto Beltran, and a bum, and we're going to make that trade every time. Corey Bird shipped off straight up for Dervin Feltman of the Red Sox, so we make that move as well. And then Robert Wright, another guy in the minors who could be a relief pitcher for the future. We're going to make that trade as well. So really trying to beef up relief pitching all over the place, and Adam Kloffenstein can help us as well from the Blue Jays. We make that trade. We also get Connie Campos, an 18-year-old relief pitcher from the Cleveland Indians. So there we go. Beefing up the bullpen arms. We'll go ahead and simulate through spring training. I never really do much with spring training. Let me know if you guys would like to see like live streams of future spring training games. I'm sure I can probably make that happen. Nelson Cruz is a guy left in free agency at the end of spring training, and he's a guy that we could use as a potential pinch hit bat when we need to take out our pitchers. So why not bring him in for $1.3 million a year? Now, a guy who could be a great utility player is Nico Goodrum. That's a guy who can definitely help us out as well. So, what is our pitching stable looking like? There you go. Noah Syndergaard, Pablo Lopez, Sandy Alcantara, Sixto Sanchez, and Max Meyer, who had a great end to his season last year. And we'll see if he can continue that as some momentum in his, I guess, official rookie year. We have Eliezer Hernandez and Dobnak. We got Crochet, Marquez, and Curtis. Floro still there. And, of course, Osuna still closing, so looking pretty good there. Looking at our lineup, John Birdie, Javi Baez, Eloy Jimenez, Michael Conforto, Brian Anderson now in the 5-hole, Nelly Cruz, Jesus Aguilar, and Jorge Alfaro, and Christian Pache. So this lineup could really do some damage. Nico Goodrum will, of course, shift in and play some. Francisco Mejia will, of course, play when Alfaro needs some time off, of course. And we will get Brendan Rodgers some at-bats as well this year, as well as Jose Peraza. Don't know how long Jose Peraza will actually be a member of the team, because now with Javi Baez, his only real chance is to be our full-time second baseman. But if you take a look here, this is our future outlook for this Marlin team. They got Pache becoming an 80 in 2023 with Blade coming up. I would love to see Blade get into our outfield. We would probably likely move Conforto because he'll probably be in his more middling 30s at the time. Nico Goodrum, no way he's playing first base. We're going to have to look for that future first baseman because this team looks like it could be really, really good in 2023. And I think first base is going to be what we're going to need. As you can see, Syndergaard, Sixto, Pablo Lopez, a very good 1-2-3 punch. Max Meyer coming up with Alcantara. I think our rotation could be set through 2024 based on this outlook. And as you can see in our pen's looking good too with Osuna, Marquez, Crochet, Ryan Muller, who was, of course, our first-round pick last year, Randy Dobnak, all of those guys looking like very, very good bullpen arms. And I really look forward to where this team could be in the future. Eloy Jimenez might be gone by 2025. JJ Bleday could be out there. Conforto apparently, well, he'd still be signed at that point. Then he would need to be signed. He'd be in a contract year in 2026. So would Pache, so would Baez, so would Syndergaard and Sixto. So we got to win by then. And then, of course, here you go. This was promised to you. We've added more stands out in the left field. Some people thought it was a little too open out in left, but I liked seeing the Ferris wheel out there. But you could still kind of see it through the terrace. But we have 3 more rows of stands, including on the top. I would like to maybe eventually be able to upgrade and bring that top row of stands all the way around the stadium. But right now, the Marlins just don't have the money to do that. They also brought the walls in and put the water slide into center field, the lazy river into right center, took out some of those palm trees, and now there is a fountain in both left and right field, with the walls being a little bit shorter. So here it is, the new South Beach Park, and I hope you guys are very excited and as excited as I am to bring it to you and potentially actually hit some dingers this season. Where will we be doing that? Well, at first we will be starting out with series on the road against Philly and New York before we finally have our home opener against the Atlanta Braves. All of that will be coming to you in the next episode. I hope you guys are super excited for Season 2 of the Marlins franchise. I know I am, but if you are, make sure you drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel for the love of franchise content, because that is what we do here, and we build winners together. So make sure that you guys leave some comments with what you thought of the offseason. If you want to see more, click right here to see more.